Gary Hardgrave is here along with the delightful Peter Gleeson. Both of them are just all things Queensland. I love that place and I can't wait to be there just again for a fraction of hours next week with Peter Dutton. Lads, how are you?
Good to see you,
Well,
Paul.
good, mate. We're going to get the red carpet, welcome carpet out for you. Don't you worry.
Excellent. And, the second somebody passes a law for those blood transfusions, I become a Queenslander. So, Gleeso, what did you think of Peter Dutton today? I mean, he wiped the floor with the bloke who probably won't be the Defence Minister, but the bloke who the best he could do was tell us stuff he remembered from the History Channel.
Dutton's a superstar. I think he's one of the best retail politicians I've ever seen. He gets it. He understands Australians. He could easily be the alternative Prime Minister. And he understands that Australians take this threat from China very, very seriously. They see what's going on in the Solomon Islands. They don't like it. They understand why Dutton is so strong on that particular part of the world. And of course, he also understands that Australians see the threat from China. They see what they've done with sanctions and tariffs, and he understands why China is a threat, and that's why he does wipe the floor with people like Penny Wong. And who is... are we getting Keneally? Are we getting Wong? Who are we getting as Defence Minister? Seriously, Paul, it's a serious question.
Yeah.
Who will be Labor's Defence Minister?
Know.
This is the thing. It's a chocolate wheel of options, and all of them, you don't want to eat because they're not chocolates in reality. Now, Christina Keneally, of course, the person who'd end up on the borders, she is dodging questions through the week.
Peter Dutton said the timing of the video was pretty unusual. Do you agree with him?
No.
Which third countries would you send refugees and asylum seekers to if you need to look to regional resettlement for people who
I answered this question yesterday.
Which countries?
I answered this question yesterday.
Seriously, Gary, do they understand that people are watching these exchanges?
Look, I actually agree with what Michael Kroger said to you earlier in the program. I mean, they have been under no pressure. Or was it Matt Canavan? Under no pressure. There's been no pressure on these guys for a couple of years because Scott Morrison has been leading the country through an unprecedented pandemic. He's had to do all the tough stuff. Peter Dutton's been beside him all the way, Josh Frydenberg. These guys are completely battle ready. They are battle fit. They are battle hardened. Whereas these blokes, these other people, the Labor people have just been coasting and drawing a wage and living on TA when times got tough in Sydney. They sort of moved to Canberra, a couple of them apparently. But, Paul, by any measure, they just are not ready. And it's not me saying it because I was a minister in John Howard's government. It's just that there is no compelling case for this bloke. I just don't know whether Australia could survive a bumble, hang on, I've got to ring up the staffer before I take a decision. You've got to be better briefed than that, and this bloke isn't, and neither is his team. It's pretty evident.
Well, and again, Gleeso, compare what we saw today with the bloke fumbling for his notes versus the bloke that we've just seen on television talking with clarity about what's at stake. What do you think, Gleeso, of the Prime Minister's performance tonight with me?
I thought you were throwing. I thought you were throwing to a grab.
No, we do have a million grabs, but I'm just trying to save time.
I've got to say, I saw that today, and I hark back to that first day. And Albanese reminds me a little bit of my 10-year-old who, when we get the report card, it says, must focus more during class. What does he actually do at the dispatch box? What does he do at the dispatch box every parliamentary session? I mean, is he Googling the Ramones? Is he Googling Taylor Swift? Because I can tell you now, he wants to be the Prime Minister. You have to be across your brief. And if he doesn't know what the NDIS policy is, he doesn't know these key fiscal fundamentals, he actually today disqualified himself from being the Prime Minister of this great country.
I'm with you, Aussie Joe Biden.
It's a $40 billion policy. It's a $40 billion policy. You think he'd actually understand what the 6 points of his $40 billion spend of our money was? Yeah,
got one job,
wouldn't you?
Well, and don't forget, amongst those 6 points, 3 of them are motherhood stuff, like putting people at the heart of it and getting rid of waste, all the rest of it here. It's going to be a frightening little time. We'll see what the debate happens on Sunday and again on Wednesday. But I tell you what, he's again going to lower the bar. As long as he doesn't fall over, then somehow he wins. But remember, Shorten won them all last time. But who won the actual election? Lads, appreciate it. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend in God's country in Queensland.